All right, our first race of the championship set is Hyrule Castle, one of my favorites.
So far, everyone's off to a great start. For the finals, it is Alma versus
Cody Co. Looking to see some interesting things between our top two teams here tonight. Lots of people are going to be looking for that shortcut over the sword and looking to pick up those rubies in place of coins on this map, as well as avoid these hazards. A lot of players holding on to some defensive items. First, second, and third have split away from the pack a little bit more than everybody else and are looking to stay in the lead there.
first 8 of the morning.
Headed into the final stretch of our last lap here. Players are beginning to finish, and an excellent first race of the first set to start off our championship match. Mason CK7 and Mason all in the top 3 spots. All from Cody Kilgore. So Alma's going to look to take the second race from them.
The stages up for selection are Mount Wario and Excite Bike.
Looks like we'll be at Mount Wario for our second race. This is an exciting race to watch. There are no laps, just straight from the top to the bottom of the map. Players are going to be looking to get those shortcuts, break out ahead of everybody, and create that separation. Now, one important thing to remember is this is a team sport, 4 versus 4, so not only do you have to try and beat the other players, but try and help out your teammates as much as possible. A couple of nice shortcuts hit. Now this is the part of the race that always gets a little bit crazy. Looking out for these rocks as you're going through the watery part of the track. And making sure you're getting all the speed boost from the jumps as much as you can. Things are pretty close between the top 4 racers. About halfway through the second portion of the map. It's easy to get lost in the woods, so you gotta have a line that you've practiced a couple times and you're able to stick to. Lots of different ways you can get through there, but you just gotta stick with whatever works for you. And try and avoid hitting as many trees as possible. First and second are very close. Headed into the last part of the map. Looking to make those clean drifts as well as use your items as efficiently as possible. First, second, and third, all very close. Looks like Austin takes first place. Austin, Joe, and CK7 placing in top 3 on that track, and Austin, CK7, and Mason holding top 3 places overall.
It looks like up for maps are Excite Bike and Rainbow Road.
We have seen Excite Bike a lot, and we'll see it again. I'm sure we'll see it again a couple more times this set. Off to a great start. Things are going to be quite tight here on the first lap. Bumper to bumper traffic all the way from 1st to 8th. Lots of players looking to use mushrooms to cut some corners and get over mud puddles. Still halfway through our second lap. Things are really tight. Very little separation between 1st and 8th place. Now on our last lap, players are going to be looking to make their move into the top spots. On our last turn, players are finishing. Great race. Mason and Dio take our 3 spots, and Mason and CK7 tied for second.
Up for picks, it's Rainbow Road again and Royal Raceway. Both of them are frequently recurring maps.
Very tight race after our first couple of turns here. Top 6 places are all very close together. A couple players are holding on to some items, waiting for the right time to use them, hoping to get ahead of their competition. heavy casualties being taken on the glide portion of the track.
And there goes a blue shell.
First place has been able to separate themselves and take the lead. The rest of the place is being fairly close behind.
CK7 came in first with Austin and Joe trailing behind them, while CK7 holds first overall with Austin and Mason behind.
A great first set by our competitors here today. Headed into our second set here, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of the same tracks chosen again.
For the first two matches, it was up between Hyrule Circuit and Mount Wario, and Mount Wario got chosen.
And off to a good start. This map seems to be a lockdown for some players and a trouble spot for some other players, which is a good mix of both teams. Going to look for a lot of shortcuts here, as well as getting the most out of those drifts on the long curved sections of the track, as well as trying to avoid getting hit as much as possible.
I mean, you gotta make sure you get the right drift lines too, because if you don't, you'll hit a wall and you lose your drift and get slowed for a little bit. Which could really hurt your progress.
A couple of players looking to use the shortcut there in the wooded portion of the track. And now headed into the final stretch down the mountain. Top players are looking to hang on to their position, and players in the lower four positions are looking to come up and make up for some lost time. A blue shell is on its way to first place, and looks like it'll get there before the end of the map. Great finish by all our players here today.
Mason came in first with Joe in second, and third was Dio. Not a bad first match for the second set.
Hyrule Castle and Rainbow Road are our two choices for our second race. Rainbow Road. Players are going to be looking as much as possible to take advantage of shortcuts and these long curvy corners to get as much of a drift boost as they can.
They got to make sure they pick the right line when drifting, or else they're going to end up going over the edge and getting set back. As we're going, they seem to be tightly pieced together. Not a whole lot of items are being thrown, though.
Some players taking some risks, trying to hit the shortcuts, and sometimes that pays off, and sometimes it doesn't.
As we're coming into lap 2, everyone's starting to get a little spread out, but it's still extremely close.
Headed into our last lap now as players try to make their way to a fighting position. Blue shell is on its way towards the front.
Not only the person in first has to watch out for the blue shell, but as it travels, it'll knock people out of the air and things like that too, setting people back as well. So our first three was in first place was Joe, Mason, and Austin, holding the tower as it sits.
Into our third race of the second set now.
Hyrule Castle and Bowser Castle are the two maps that it's
We have
chosen
yet
from.
to see Bowser's Castle, but it looks like we'll see it now. One thing to remember with Bowser's Castle, lots of stage hazards, lots of fire, lots of lava, so you got to be careful to avoid those things. Lots of hazards on this stage, and it shows when players are being extra careful on turns, not to get hit by lasers or falling boulders or any unsavory goods.
lot of items are being set back and forth throughout the middle. Everyone's struggling to take a higher place.
Now on our final lap. Lots of back and forth there. The pack was heavy, and it showed. Joe, Mason, and Mason now hold our top 3 overall. Heading into our 4th race of our 2nd set here.
The map choices are Hyrule Castle and Dragon Driftway. Dragon Driftway has not yet made an appearance today. And it's Dragon Driftway.
I'm looking forward to see some new tracks, especially on Dragon Driftway. There's a lot of precision driving that goes on this track, and I'm looking forward to see what the 2 teams can do with it. You really want to take advantage of these 0 gravity zones, getting the best drifts as possible, and running into other people and getting that speed boost wouldn't hurt as well. You got to keep your eye out for those mushrooms and be able to use those shortcuts as efficiently as you can. A lot of back and forth in the top 5 spots. As first place pulls away a little bit. Using that defensive item to escape a shell. Coming into our final stretch. First and second are neck and neck. Each looking to take that lead. And a great finish to the 4 teams here. Joe and our Masons are top 3 overall. Wouldn't you agree, Caleb?
Yeah, I'd say they all played pretty well.
you know, I had my expectations high for today and was looking forward to watching some good races, and I got what I was looking for.
Yeah. The skill of the players today were pretty good. They deserved to make it state.
And it looks like Alma took the second set, and we're now headed into game 3.
All right, Alma takes that second cut with a score of 79-77. Going to a third cut. This one's going to determine the state champion for Division 4 Mario Kart.
We'll have an exciting finish to our championship here tonight as we head into game 3. Cody Kilgore won the first game 82-74, and Alma was our first race of the third set. Reminder, winner of this last set will be our champion today.
It seems
so I'm looking for high competitive play from everybody.
It seems that they have already started to split up as one of the racers has a big lead on the group.
First has created quite the gap between him and the rest of the pack. All players are looking for that special speed boost over the sword.
And a blue shell is coming.
Blue shell on its way to first. Hoping the rest of the pack can close the gap between first and second.
Connected. That cut down Mason's lead exponentially, bringing it back for someone to catch up. And that is...
And a great finish for our first race.
Yeah.
Mason, and CK7 taking our top 3 spots to start off leading us.
As
Hyrule Castle has proven to be a good map for a majority of our contestants here today.
it seems like it is between Excite Bike Arena again and I believe Rainbow Road. And it is Rainbow Road.
There's lots of opportunities on this map to separate yourself from the rest of the pack. So we'll be looking for a lot of risk takers and people who want to separate themselves by taking that chance, getting ahead of everybody. There's some light pushing and shoving going on in these first turns with a few people falling off.
As we go into the second lap, we can see separation beginning to happen, but they're still extremely close. It could be anyone's game.
Now entering into our final lap. Players will be looking to use their items to gain positions. Before it's too late, a blue shell has been thrown on its way to first place to hopefully help close the gap. First and second are neck and neck, with the rest of the bunch not too far behind. And a great finish to our second race in the final set here. We have Mason, and Joe holding our three top positions as we head into our third race of the third set.
It looks like
And as I expected, Excite Bike Arena has been chosen, as well as Mount Wario, two of our most popular tracks here tonight. And we're back at Excite Bike. This will be an exciting race for us.
I know I mentioned it before, but races on the Excite Bike map always tend to excite.
Still a very tight pack here halfway through our second lap. No big separations as of yet. The lead has gone back and forth a couple of times. Now entering our final lap. The top four places are very close and tight-knit. As we round our last turn here, everyone's using their items. And great finishes from our teams here. Mason, CK7, and Austin taking 3 places, with Masons and CK7 remaining in the top 3 spots overall. We have one more race.
A first time showing of Wario Goldmine and Mount Wario is the other
Both
choice.
of the Wario tracks looking for a little chaos as Wario's Gold Mine is selected.
This is the first time it's been chosen tonight, so
Everything could be won or lost at Wario's Gold Mine.
a lot of people are hitting the shortcuts, so that's always a good sign.
Second place competitor fell off the map, causing him to lose a couple spaces. We have CK7 holding on to a strong second, with first a little bit ahead of him. A blue shell is on its way, hoping to close the gap. All tensions are high as we head into the last turn of the last lap of the last race. And an exciting finish to a great set. Mason, Austin, and Mason taking our 3 spots, and the Masons and Joe holding our top 3 overall, with MK7 also tied in 3rd place.